Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and welcome to a reaction for Fallout 76 as requested by one of my subs. So there's not really a lot to say about this game because there really is no game yet to speak of. Yet, a lot of people are talking about this. I mean, it's a lot of hype, it's a lot of excitement, and justly so. This is one of my favorite game series of the modern era. Fallout 4, despite people knocking it and saying it lacked things from Fallout 3, which I do agree with, I think that 3 is the superior game. It had superior weapons, a better story. Still a good story in Fallout 4, but not quite up to par with Fallout 3. But this game, I'm not sure why they're calling it 76, if it has to do with the year or really what they're going for here, but it's pretty much the same story. They're rebuilding after the fallout of a massive bomb that falls, and I'm sure that the gameplay is going to be very similar to the past entries in the games from Fallout 3 and on. 3 and 4 were pretty similar. 4 made some adjustments. But there's not a lot to show here. We have some spruced up graphics, of course, that they're not going to look like that in the actual game. We all know this is the same type of stuff they pull at E3. They always do this. They make these graphics that are just going to appear like this for the advertisement footage. And the game is probably still going to look good, but Fallout isn't really so much. It's never really been about having the best graphics. The graphics are very good in it, but it's always been about the gameplay and the interaction, the things that you could do in the games. And of course, that is why I love Fallout and why it is one of my favorite series. Um, you're able to do so much in these games. You're able to explore a huge map that enables you to go to so many different places, meet a lot of different characters, fight a lot of different enemies. And I'm sure that we're going to get the same from Bethesda, like we always do. And they're going to deliver. A lot of people complained about Fallout 4, and once again, I find it so amazing that there is so much criticism for good games like that, but not enough criticism for games like Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed that don't really change the fun. There are critics, of course, but I wish that it would be in greater numbers, always attacking good games because they're not quite as good as previous entries. But Fallout 4, what it lacked, it did a lot of things better. So 76 is definitely a game that's on my radar. But like I said, I'm very surprised at people that are still talking about graphics inside the video. You damn well know they're not gonna look like that. They never do that. They never. It's I don't think it's even possible really in to get the graphics that they're showing there. That's not even possible on the most high powered PC out there. So don't expect the graphics to look like that. Like I said, they've been pulling that stuff since the 2000s, really, since early 2000s, since the day of PS2 when they'd hype people up. I remember like one thing here. When they showed the video for WWF SmackDown, Just Bring It. Remember the video that played for that game when they first introduced it, and also when you booted up the game on PS2? The graphics look super realistic. You're like, wow, especially if you never saw how the footage was going to look in game. You were going to be like, oh my god, this game's graphics are amazing. And then you play the actual game and you're like, oh well, this game looks good, but it doesn't look quite as good as it does. So I'm always confused at why they still do that. I don't understand how people get hyped for the fake graphics. How they get hyped for the CGI graphics that are not real. That's not going to be actual in-game graphics. So how could you get excited for that? It's a different thing if this game ends up looking so much better than Fallout 4 and you see some in-game footage, but we're not getting any in-game footage. We don't have a single shred, not a single second of in-game footage, and people are, I don't get it. People overhype themselves. I guess that's the same thing like Fallout 4. So when the game lacks certain things, people are let down. because they built them. They do this for movies. They do it all the time. They always hype themselves up, even when there really isn't that much to get hyped about. Like there's nothing of substance to get hyped about. So when the game ends up getting released, people are let down, and justly so, because you've built up this, hype that just there's no way it can meet expectations like that. But I am hyped for it because I'm reasonably hyped. It's another entry in a game series that I hold very near and dear to my heart. And I'm sure I trust Bethesda to really put out, a knockout game that's going to have some great gameplay, and I'm sure some great moments, and a story that's going to hold my interest. There's going to be some different weapons. In different locales, and who knows where this game is going to take you, and all the things that it's going to treat you, and the hours of gameplay. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you guys how many hours I put into Fallout 4. Months and months on my Xbox One on that game. I mean, it from when I first purchased the game in November of 2015, and I played the game all the way up into the spring of 2016. And then I finally gave the game a break. Even when I completed the main story of the game, see, a main story for a game is very important. The Call of Duty Black Ops 4, I'm looking at you. This is what I'm saying. This is why games like this, they feel special. Also, there hasn't been another Fallout game, you know what I'm saying, in a few years, unlike all these other series that release a game every single year. And I know there's classic game series like Donkey Kong Country. We had 1, 2, and 3 releasing one year after the other, and that is a classic trilogy. But they're not going to do games the same quality like that anymore. If you notice, the games that release every single year are always like multi-developers under one publisher banner, and they just keep releasing different entries in the game, because Call of Duty's got so many different branches. You've got the Modern Warfare, you've got the Black Ops over here, and every other single type of game underneath it. And it gets like ridiculous. There's too many spin-offs. And sometimes I wish that, like, the game series that, like, I'm a really big fan of, I wish that they would release more of those, like they would back in the day. But that's what truly makes games like Fallout feel more special. But it's like all those games that I talked about back in the day that were great. This is what's popular. Unfortunately, these are the games that I don't like that are really super popular right now. I'm just not into them. So this is what's going to be mass produced. This is what's going to be expedited to the public. And this is not me being a retro gamer. I mean, you guys know I play the classics. I'm playing SNES games, and I'm playing Xbox One games. So, I'm pretty fair. There's a lot of amazing things in modern gaming that just were not possible. And, like I said, I don't agree with the strict retro gamers that say that, these modern gaming is no good, because it's not true. If you're saying that, you're just not looking hard enough. There's games like Fallout, and like I said, that's why I'm looking forward to this particular game. And when it comes out, I mean, I'm really going to enjoy it. I'm looking forward to putting another 70, 80 hours, whatever, into this game. I mean, the most amazing thing is how much time I've spent in those games, and I still haven't even unlocked all the achievements. I still haven't done everything there is to do in those games, which really speaks volumes about just how truly magnificent the Fallout series is, and just how big 3, New Vegas, and 4 are. I mean, they're huge, massive games that, for consoles, these were previously reserved for PC games. You think about huge open worlds, you think about games like World of Warcraft. Well, Fallout, which, yeah, it is also a PC game, it's just as well known, as a console game, I guess, as it is on PC. I don't know what sold the most. I guess the PC version. I don't know. But, it's a lot of these PC exclusive games will say that are known for having these huge, massive worlds, but Fallout is something that you could see across the platforms, that this is like everyone can just enjoy. And that's what's so great about the game. Not only is it cross-platform, you know, it's another thing that kind of fucks everything up when it comes to games like Fallout, because it is cross-platform. People rather do this stupid, oh, I'm PlayStation, oh, I'm Xbox, and you know, it's like, who cares? You know, if it's a great game, who cares who's got the most exclusives? The majority of games are cross-platform anyway. So, you know, anyway, guys, like I said, looking forward to it. There's no footage out there to really get super hyped up over, but I am excited for the announcement of a new Fallout game, being a fan. So there you go, guys. So yeah, you know, if you enjoyed this video, if you're new to this channel, subscribe. Check out my Patreon. You know, any way you guys can help me out on that, I would appreciate it. So I could provide better content on here. You know, we've been doing a lot of different things on this channel. We have been getting more gaming heavy because I am sick to fucking death of talking about wrestling. You know, but the wrestling videos are not going anywhere. But I'm saying, like, I want to get more into gaming. I want to talk about more things that I enjoy here on this channel. I enjoy reviewing and entertaining my subs through the wrestling content, but it's so much better when, you know, people could just be happy on this channel. And you know, because even though you might be entertained by my comedic presentation during my wrestling reviews, it's kind of like, you know, I really hate watching it, but it's fun to like make fun of it, of course, you know. But doing, you know, a game review on here and editing it all up, it might be a pain in the ass, but it definitely is fun. And like for my Super Mario review, I am overjoyed that so many people enjoyed that review, and thank you for all the nice comments. Because that commentary, I like had to do several takes on it. There were things I didn't like. I had to edit it all up, you know, and sync everything up. Like when I wanted to talk about something in the game, it is a lot of hard work. And like I talked about in my top 5 favorite YouTubers, guys that do it really super well, like Console Wars, and Some Call Me Johnny, which again I have to plug them and say, if you're not subscribed to them, you really should. Those guys kill themselves, because those are some really fucking in-depth, well put together reviews, where they've not only showing the game they're talking about, but other games. And man, to record all the footage, play the games and everything, and you know, and make sure you have enough memory on your capture card. Oh man, it is like, you know, it could be a real headache. It is fun though, and when you get the finished product out there, it is really satisfying, especially when I've gotten the positive response that I have from you guys, like with the Super Mario and the Street Fighter and the Donkey Kong Country reviews. So thank you guys for the support, and like I said, if you can, check out the Patreon and help me, you know, further those dreams here on this channel. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time, guys.